song, Breeze of the Field. It's a song that I love because it oozes so much joy, and it's sung in a Hebrew style. If you were to travel to the land of Israel and you see the Jewish people sing their songs of joy, it would probably sound a lot like what you've just heard. Now, it's played on an offbeat style, so that's the first thing you've got to master, is playing on the offbeat. If you had a drummer and he keeps the beat, he would play boom ta, boom ta, boom ta. And that offbeat, the boom ta, ta, that's where we strum up on the guitar. So just to illustrate it with the D minor chord, there's boom ta, boom ta, boom ta. But now for the down, the boom, I'm going to mute my strings by lifting my fingers up. Get that? So you can actually hear I'm striking the strings, got like a dead percussive sound. And I'm only concentrating playing the bottom 4 strings because I'm only pressing 3 strings there. So you don't have to play the percussive sound by playing all the strings, just 3 of the strings at the bottom. That'll work fine. Gives you that percussive tapping sound. Kum cha, kum cha, kum cha. So I'd recommend just take one chord and get used to playing in the style. For instance, a D minor chord, just a boom ta, and your boom is muted, the ta is an upstroke. And then try the next chord. Here's my F. And then there's a C. With the different chords, you might have to use different ways of muting the string. Sometimes I would take my pinky and tap, like for the mute, just hold my pinky there, kind of like at a very gentle touch, and just rest it on the strings for that upstroke. It's tricky, but I try and work things around like that. So that's the strumming idea. So boom ta, boom ta. The song starts slow first time through, and then second time through you want to up tempo and play it a bit faster. And that's one of the things that the Jewish music does. They start slow and then they make it faster as they go along. Same thing with Greek music. If you were to listen to Greek music, they've got these songs where they start slow and up the tempo as they go along. A very nice effect. The chords are standard chords. It's D minor, C7, F, and so forth. There's a lot of slash chords on the chord sheet. You can download my chord sheet in the link below. But just to say, when you hit those slash chords, because they move so quickly, I'm not going to worry about the bass note. So slash chords, the second note is the bass note. So the D minor slash A, D minor is my chord, A is the bass note. I'm going to disregard for the guitar the bass notes and just concentrate on chords, which is down, 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 down. We'll clap their hands. Now at that point, because it's quick changes, I don't do offbeat boom ta, boom ta. I just go down, 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 C7, and all the trees of the fields. Then I go back into that shuffle, the offbeat. Now if you have someone in church that can add a tambourine, it's really going to make it sound like a Jewish song. So when there's quick changes, just do downstrokes. So when there's a lot of bars of one chord, then you kind of go into that groove of the upbeat. But when it's quick changes, you just go down, 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 down. There's a second verse to the song, which I've written. I based it on the idea that Isaiah 55, which say that the trees will clap their hands. It connects with Psalm 47, where it speaks of nations clapping their hands. Scripture also speaks about rivers clapping their hands. And that's an expression saying that creation is groaning, waiting for God's salvation, God's return. Because we know that at the end of days, as is said in Revelations 21 and 22, God's going to restore even creation. There's a new heaven, a new earth, and a new city, Jerusalem. Even creation is groaning, scripture says. So the rivers will be expressing joy and the trees will clap their hands. It's a poetry showing how even creation will be released from the curse of sin and death. And it says also in those days, the final days when God restores all things, that then finally all nations will honor him. So that's what these words reflect, that even the nations will shout for joy. So try that in that second verse. I'll put the words in the description below. But just to say how I played the style is the same. It's that boom ta, boom. But B7 is going to take me to the new key. And that's where we use seventh chords. It takes me to the new key. Now I'm in E minor. Before I was in D minor, so the first verse. While you go out with joy, B7. See how it lifts it? He is the Lord our God. Now when I play my downstroke, see how I use two fingers because I have two available. To press down. Try that with E minor is an easy chord. So mute. And when I mute, I don't press hard. I just touch the strings very softly. And then when I play up, I press down my E minor. And I also release the pressure. So it's a short note, like thump, thump. So release. So the pressure, bumped, bumped, bumped. The Lord our God is a mighty shield. He is our strength. So there was a D7 / F sharp. I don't worry about the F sharp. It's too quick. So I only concentrate on the first note, the D7, and let my bass player do the F sharp. And then it's got standard chords throughout. And I hope you enjoy this extra verse for an old song, but it's a great, happy song. And this kind of music just brings so much joy when sung in churches or even by yourself or in a small group of friends. Happy guitar.